Sky's Adele Robinson is at a polling station in Kensington in West London, where there have been long queues of French citizens waiting to cast their votes. Adele, a significant French population resident here in the United Kingdom. Lucky for them, they don't have to travel too far to cast their vote.
No, well, some of them don't, but some do, because of course they're spread out across the whole of the UK. There are 54 polling stations. I have to say, we've been quite surprised here today. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't quite this. Thousands of people queuing up around the block since 7 o'clock this morning. Let's just take a walk down and show you how many people. This is actually two queues queuing up side by side, and they go all the way around the other side of the building. This is one of two stations, polling stations in London. The other one is in Wembley, this here in South Kensington. The polling station opened at 8 o'clock this morning, and the crowds simply keep coming. To put this into some kind of perspective, there are 100,000 voters here, French nationals here in the UK, who are registered to vote. Of that 100,000, 97,000 are based in London or the surrounding areas, so a hefty amount. And this particular polling station is expected to see up to around 50,000 voters. They're expecting an even larger turnout than the last presidential election in 2012. That turnout was just over 33%. There is, I've been told, partly a Brexit effect down to these numbers. I heard that from Edouard de Guito. He's the president of one of the polling stations inside here, and this is what he had to say.
French people who registered to vote here and registered their details of French consulate increased by about 10% in the last year post-Brexit vote. A lot of them were worried and wanted to feel that they'd had some administrative contacts here that they could call on if they needed to. So we have a bigger pool of voters. We expect 50,000 French citizens to vote here at South Kensington, and in my polling station I expect about 1,200 voters compared to about 800 5 years ago.
Of course, it's not just about Brexit that have brought these voters out here today. This is a significant election. It's been described as the tightest election in post-war French history. From speaking to people here, though, there is uncertainty about how this will go. It's supposedly a four-horse race, but there is distrust in the polls, and so people perhaps are turning out partly because of that, because they simply don't know how this is going to go, bearing in mind what happened in the US election and of course the UK referendum. 11 candidates they will have to pick from, and they'll be back here again in 2 weeks' time for the second round.
Thanks, Adele.